It might be tempting to reach out to your divine masculine. Stay tuned. In this video, we're going to talk all about it. It may be tempting to reach out to them. You may feel like you aren't hurting anything by doing so. Keeping in contact with the unhealed, unawakened divine masculine, so your unawakened counterpart, is a necessary phase, as every time you are in contact with them, you will actually learn a lesson. But these are very painful lessons most of the time. I describe them in my book, The Twin Flame Journey, as the universe presenting you with a 2x4 across your head. Actually, sometimes they come through as a semi-truck hitting you, but 2x4 is a little bit of the milder version. This will keep happening to you until you learn to walk away. You may be under the illusion that things are going to get better, that one day they will just magically see. You might still have this belief that your words to them make some kind of difference, but they don't. The phase eventually needs to end. And when you've had enough, it will. In other videos, I talk about the two parts of you who keep wanting to reach out to your unawakened counterpart before the universe has allowed divine timing. Your inner child, number one, and number two, your ego. We've covered the inner child in other videos, so today I want to focus more on the ego. To understand the twin flame journey is to understand that the universe cares more about you and your divine masculine having spiritual awakenings at all. This is primary. It only cares about your union second. Listen, your divine masculine needs to go through all of the things that you've gone through or you're about to go through. They need to make mistakes, have tower moments with no one to comfort them through it. They need to go through ego deaths, which again is really telling the ego that it is not the alpha in this relationship. And then also here comes the dark night of the soul for them. Their coping mechanisms they've relied upon need to stop working so well. That's all the bad stuff. The good stuff is them finding who they really are, connecting back to their soul, which by the way is them inherently connecting back to you, and them finding more joy and happiness than they've experienced in life before. Do you all realize that when you continue to reach out to them, you are blocking them from all of this? Divine feminines, I'm talking about any simple interaction at all. Now you ask me, how are you blocking them? It's your energy. If you are still wrapped up in your third dimensional ego, it's probably impossible for you to understand fully how soul or 5D energy works. Eventually, the 3D and the 5D will merge. But my friends, this is not an overnight process. Keep watching. We're going to break this down in simple terms. Your divine masculine is going to need to connect with their higher self, the 5D and the soul, your soul, or your soul frequency. They can't do that with third dimensional noise. I hear some of you already, but they have a karmic or bad friends or addictions. Isn't that noise? Yes, of course it is. But you, divine feminine, number one, you are the noisiest of all, because the energy between the two of you is more intense than any of those other ones we just talked about. You have the power to draw them in with great force, and you also have the power to repel them with great force. When you are trying to do or change something with 3D actions, you are repelling them. When you focus on you and your own awakening, you naturally draw them in. The karmic stuff, the bad friends, the addictions that we just mentioned, that will all fade eventually. The universe will take care of all of that. I need you to start picturing and understanding the 3D versus the 5D. A 3D action, for example, is talking to your twin flame. A fifth dimensional equivalent would be telepathic connection with your twin flame or communication with your twin flame. So if you are busy filling your day with 3D actions of texting them, then you are missing out on the telepathic connection with them. You may still be confused, thinking, well, aren't they both forms of communication? So aren't they both as relative? No, they aren't. You know how I just said your third dimensional actions repel your counterpart? My friends, this is how the journey was designed. You and your divine masculine cannot work on self-love or the next step of unconditional love together. I say this in every video, you're not soulmates. Soulmates are give and take relationships. The minute one party is no longer getting what they want, they end it, they divorce, never to return. I mean, unless they go to therapy, but supposedly that's only about 5 to 10% of couples. So most of the time they just end it. The twin flame journey, however, is unconditional. You don't need something from your divine masculine to keep loving them. There are twin flames in separation many, many years, still loving their divine masculine without getting anything from them. I feel like I always need to drop in the disclaimer that unconditional love does not mean allowing someone to treat you badly. It means loving them no matter what and having your boundaries firmly in place so that you are practicing your own love for yourself. All right, back to the DM. They are stuck in the 3D, right? They don't know what twin flames are. They don't know what you mean to them. They are wrapped up in karmic drama. They may be interested in spirituality, but they are not deep into it like you are. And you want to pull them to where you are, right? Want to pull them out of all of that and into your world and into the knowing that you have, the spiritual knowing that you have. The healing, the Kundalini awakening, the couple meditations where you put your hand on each other's heart while you connect with the divine. I know, I am in this too. I want those things too. But when you do that with 3D actions, contacting them here in the physical, guess what? You keep the connection nothing but in the physical. Okay, listen, I think you guys need another analogy here. I love analogies lately. I want you to think of 3D as high school and the fifth dimension as university. You want them to get to university because you're there, you've been there, you're on campus, while they are stuck back at high school. You haven't been there in years because you're a junior in university. Only when you go by to see your counterpart at night after school, you're doing their homework and their essays for them. Hell, you're even doing their science projects. Then the day comes when they go to take the SATs. And guess what happens? They fail. Why? Because they don't know any of the material. Because you did the work for them and they didn't get any benefit of learning anything. Now they can't get to university and you two grow further and further apart because you are getting ready to graduate next year and you know you can't continue to date someone who's stuck in high school. Even if you wanted to, you'll get pulled further and further apart. But what if you stopped doing their homework for them? What if they go through the pain of picking up the books on their own, mastering English and math and science on their own, having that connection with the knowledge they won't have unless they do it on their own? And once they do, then what happens? They pass the SATs and then they get to join you at university. You two can walk the halls together, meet for lunch in the campus park. These are metaphors for all of the things that I said earlier. The meditations, having them meet you where you are at spiritually. All the things that you want to experience with them that has come with your own spiritual awakening. Well, your 3D ego that keeps wanting to talk to them while they are unhealed and unawakened, that ego has you convinced that if you do the homework for them, it'll solve everything. Why does the ego do this to you? Because if you haven't mastered your mind and ego yet, They will play tricks on you to get what they want. The ego likes to be right, and it likes to tell people how it is with words. The heart and the soul don't need that. That's child's play to them. Elementary child's play. At the end of this video, I'm going to link my book recommendations video. There are 2 books in there that will help with this. You've got to let the masculine in your twin flame journey do the work themselves. They cannot see through their third eye or connect with the soul if you are trying to do it for them, or if you're in the way. I didn't design this journey, I just understand it. I'm in it. The energies between the 2 of you need to balance out while both of you move towards the soul and towards the 5th dimension. Is this making sense to you guys yet? If not, I've only got one more way of saying it. If you are holding on to the 3D ego, thinking you must act, that you must talk, that you must communicate in the physical in order for this to happen, you're not only holding your divine masculine back, but you are preventing union. You are not only holding your divine masculine back, but you are preventing union because you are in the process holding yourself back from more spiritual ascension, more time by yourself to continue doing work that the universe knows you need to do. The ego was created for survival, not for spiritual ascension. You have to choose 3rd dimension or 5th dimension. Which is it that you want? It may also still be filled with trauma and a whole slew of other problems. Oh, and the 2x4s that I mentioned earlier. But the 5th dimension, the risk, it's where all the unknowns are. And do you know what is in the unknown? Magic. It's where the universe brings you all the stuff you didn't believe before was possible. Don't you want your divine masculine? Yes. This time I'm talking divine masculine, not unawakened counterpart. The one you want. Don't you want them to join you there? What you all don't realize is that you aren't just the ones leading this whole thing. You also hold the lock to the kingdom. Your job, your role is to protect the lock. Behind the lock is everything that you know and everything else you are about to discover. That is literally your only job, is to protect the lock. Do you know who is supposed to come along and open that lock with the key? It's not you. You are never supposed to be the one to find the key or to open the lock with the key. That has to be the divine masculine. This download came to me 2 years ago when I pulled the star card while I was doing a tarot session for myself for the year. It's simply not our job to do anything regarding that key, and when we try, the key gets moved again so no one can find it. Basically, it gets worse and harder. And that's how so many twin flames are missing out on union, missing out on what this journey is really about. They're too busy trying to find the key with their ego instead of focusing on the lock and the kingdom behind it. Please go ahead and ask questions in the comments if this isn't making sense, because the more I can see where you guys are struggling, the more downloads the universe will send me to help open up those passages for you. You aren't here by coincidence. The universe wants you to hear something in my videos. I have no ego in this, just a hope for your ascension and for your union one day. If you like my content, please like, comment, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button. I love you always, and I will see you in the next video.